The problem with MMA and UFC and why it does not work. Now hold up, this is coming from a guy that's been doing martial arts his whole life and also did MMA, right? The problem with it is that people, when they see the UFC, MMA, cage fights, all this stuff, they look at this and they think this is what a real fight looks like, or this is what real violence looks like. The problem is that in the real world, in real violence, in real life encounters, it's totally different. That's not what it's going to look like. That's not UFC or MMA. Mixed martial arts does not teach you how to actually have self-defense and what an actual self-defense encounter looks like and how to get away safely. It does not teach you that. It teaches you how to fight one-on-one with somebody with the same rules and the same weight class. It doesn't teach you what to do when you get mugged in the middle of the night, what to do when people are surrounding you, what to do if someone's grabbing your shirt or yelling at you. It doesn't teach you real world skills on self-defense. My name is Joel Pollard. Welcome to JKD Talks. I've been doing martial arts my whole life, and in this episode, I'm going to be talking about the problem with MMA and that it does not equip you for real life self-defense. It's not teaching you self-defense. It's teaching you how to fight someone or how to duel someone one-on-one, which in its regards, it does very well at. I'm not taking any credit. I did MMA. I know it's good. I'm not dising credit. But what I am saying is that it's not teaching you self-defense. And so I already know the comments. I already know most of y'all have not even gotten this far. And now you're going to be commenting and saying some crazy stuff. But if you watch this video, I'm sure you'll actually see my point, understand the problem with it, and agree with me. So let's get right in. So yes, it does not teach self-defense. Because so many people, when they see boxing, they say, this is what a fight looks like. Guys squaring up, trading, throwing punches, moving around. That's not what a fight looks like. Even if you just take a boxing match and then you put it right next to a schoolyard fight, a high school bathroom fight, they look totally different. Sure, they both might be punching, but it's a totally different circumstance, totally different environment, and the mentality is different. The two different fights are completely different. So then when you talk about the real world outside, it's a totally different animal. That the MMA or fighting one-on-one with rules is different than real violence. Real violence is unpredictable. As in, when I fight in the ring or whatever, I know the guy is 155. I know the guy is around 6 even or 5'9" maybe. I know he has X amount of training in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and boxing. He's more of a grappler. I know these things. In real life, the only thing you know is what the guy looks like. That's about it, man. And so many guys, so many martial arts, the reason why like karate, traditional ones, they can be not good is because so many times they train them to think the guy you're fighting is dumb, to think the guy you're fighting has no experience. And the reality is you don't know. It's like saying, okay, name me the third ranked boxer in the US. You can't. You don't know. So someone one day could accidentally walk up to this dude and start a problem with him. And just because how the guy looks, you don't know what he does. You don't know what his skill level is. You don't know how good he is. You don't know how bad he is. You don't know what weapons he's carrying, knife, gun, bat, machete. You don't know any of that. You don't know if he has friends. You don't know if he has pepper spray, taser. You don't know any of that. So that's the first thing, is that it's unpredictable. You don't know what to expect. And so with that being said, that should influence your fighting. And yet again, everyone they watch UFC and they think like, okay, this is what a fight looks like. That when the match starts, both guys are ready. They're in their stance. They're ready to go. They're in the corners. The ref's in the middle. He says break. And, okay, now we start walking. We get to going, right? That's not how a fight starts in real life. The only time that happens is when both guys agree, hey, I'm going to fight you. We're going to go outside right now. And we're going to duke it out. Okay? The problem is most fights don't start like that. That if you're a martial artist, you should not be doing that. You should not. If you've done it, you shouldn't be doing that. That self-defense, and the definition of self-defense, in my opinion, is I am having to defend myself even though I do not want to fight you. That's what self-defense is. But when you see a fight, or dueling, or UFC, they're both agreeing, hey, we're going to fight, we're going to kind of fight fair, we're going to go outside, and we're going to see the best man win, I'm going to beat you up. That's not real life. Real life, the guys are yelling in your face, spitting in your face, and he swings you, sucker punches you. Real life, the guy's grabbing you, he's yelling at you, and he's about to punch you. He's gonna hockey punch you like this. That's real life. Real life is, I'm talking to you, okay. I get the knife and I start stabbing you. The whole point that it's unpredictable should influence the way you fight. That's what I'm getting at. That, and also, the way the fight starts is completely different. That most times, most fights, the guy's not ready. And when you look at that, that should influence your training. That statistically speaking, most people that win fights usually land the first punch. If you go and watch any fight, the person that lands the first punch most likely usually wins. So that's totally different, right? And why is that? It's because, well, if we're so close, because yet again, real fights, it's always very close. Usually they're in touching distance, so I'd be close enough so I can just touch you without moving. That's where most fights start. They don't start distance, 6 feet of distance. Okay, I'm ready. Bouncing, I'm ready to go. No, the guy's in your face. He's yelling at you. He's grabbing you. He's talking at you. It's be close and intimate. You're in a bar. You know, you're not in a big open area. That's the other thing. The environment's usually always different. It's not a ton of room, enough to move around in. It's gonna be obstacles, chairs, hallways, bathrooms, elevators. You're not gonna have space to move all the time. So all those things will or should alter the way you train, should make you think about what real life is about, especially if you're training for self-defense. You need to have a game plan, understand that you're fighting, whatever your style is gonna be, has to be able to fight in these different environments. That's a very, very important thing. And so with that being said, since the fight is gonna be close in your face, that if you just hit the guy first, 9 times out of 10, he's not gonna be ready. So that gives you a whole big advantage. This is why guys usually hit the first win. This is why people that have been in street fights, people that haven't in real fights on the real world, on the street or in the real life environment, they normally know if they're gonna get in a fight, they want to get the first swing off because they know they've done it. So yet again, that's totally different. They know that because they know the person is not fully ready. Because yet again, another difference in any sports endeavor, boxing, your MMA, UFC, Bellator, the guys are both going to be in their stance completely ready. But in real life, we talked about if the guy's arguing in your face, trying to look big and tough, because in real life, real fights are for ego. There's always an ego. I'm trying to be better than you. I'm trying to look cool around everybody. I'm trying to be the alpha male. I'm better fighter than you. I'm whatever. So with that being said, they're not going to be in a stance. They don't want to look insecure. I want to look big man on campus. Hey man, I'm trying to look confident and tough. I'm showing everybody around, the females, I'm big and tough. I'm not scared of you. So therefore, most all fights start, the guys' hands are down, they're talking, they're yelling, they're arguing. With that being said, they're not ready to fight. This is why street fighters, this is why I teach, you want to hit them first. Especially when the guy's threatening you, he's bigger and stronger than you, he's acting shady, he's acting aggressive, you want to move first, you do. You don't want to wait and just sit there. A lot of karate guys will say self-defense, and don't strike first, strike hard. No, Cobra Kai strikes first, strikes hard. Well, the problem is in real life, if you wait for the guy to hit you, you better be fast. You better be like on some Bruce Lee level fast, because chances are he's going to throw punches and bunches. He's going to keep punching you. He's not going to throw a lockout punch and hold it out. He's going to rush you. He's going to keep attacking you. So to wait for him to attack you, you're going to be behind on the 8-ball. And so you better be ready for that. You better be ready for that. And like I said earlier, MMA, it's teaching you how to fight a one-on-one duel you both agree to fight. It's not teaching you actual self-defense skills, because as we already discussed, now you're starting to understand real life is 100% different. You don't know what to expect. Since we have that element that you don't know, yet again, MMA is not going to teach you how to get out of grabs. If he's grabbing your shirt, yelling at you. They're not going to teach you stuff with weapons, possible disarms, what to do if he has a weapon. It's not going to teach you how you should talk to an aggressor. If the guy's yelling at you, how should you talk? How should you behave? How can you verbally disarm him? How can you verbally disarm? They're not going to teach you that, because that's not the point of MMA. To be fair, that's the thing. That's not the point of MMA. That's why it doesn't do it. The point of MMA is to how to fight a one-on-one person you both agree to fight. And in that, it does very well at. But yet again, by contrast, this is teaching that it's obviously not going to teach self-defense, real-world self-defense. Self-defense, as we said earlier, is having to fight when you do not want to fight. I'm walking down from the store and I go in an alleyway and two guys are following me. I don't want to fight, but now I got to do something, you know? Or the big guy at the bar is yelling in my face, pointing at me, he's grabbing my shirt and he's cussing me out. I don't want to fight this big old dude. I don't. But that's what self-defense is, right? Whereas UFC, boxing, any fighting, you both agree. I don't like you, whatever. I don't really care. We are both gonna fight, and we're gonna have a similar rule set. Like, we're not gonna be dirty. We're not gonna whatever. You know, we're gonna be men, but we're gonna fight, you and me. At 30 minutes, we're gonna go right now. Whatever. That's fighting. Self-defense is you don't want to fight. Self-defense is I have to protect myself now. He's got a knife. He's got a gun. He's threatening my girlfriend. I have to do something. Okay, well, I got to do something. So with that nature, it's you want something quick and fast. You don't want to sit out there and take 30 minutes. I mean, guys are so used to seeing the 5 rounds, the 10 rounds, the 3 round, the championship rounds, and see how long the fight lasts. But in reality, on the street, in real life, the fight's not going over 30 seconds. There is no 2-3 rounds. There is no 2 rounds. The fight's not going over 30 seconds. And that's for 2 untrained people swinging like apes. It's not going to go over 30 seconds. Just from the mentality, the fact there is no protection gear, that a real human fist swung at real hard speed to really hurt somebody, it only takes about 2, maybe 3 hits to take someone out of commission completely. You know, versus with gloves on, it helps, obviously. It's not gonna be as bad, it helps. But that way, in real life, no gear, no gloves, 2 untrained guys can knock each other out. But that's why. That's yet again another difference. That MMA is very good at what it does. And I'm trying to explain the difference. And now I'm gonna talk more about how or what to train for the actual self-defense, for a realistic encounter. Real quick, if you like what I'm saying or like what you're hearing, please leave a like and subscribe, as it's gonna help me a lot. And leave a comment down below saying what you like, what you didn't like, or what your thoughts. And lastly, if you want to learn Jeet Kune, martial arts, or actual self-defense stuff, then go in the description of this video. You're gonna find a link, and it's gonna be my $10 a month course. There I have all sorts of videos and resources and whatnot to learn this stuff online for just $10 a month. Very affordable. That way you can actually learn Jeet Kune. I have many courses on Jeet Kune, martial arts, self-defense, stuff like that, so that you can defend yourself and get better, or just learn martial arts for fun if you want to. So I highly recommend, if you want to learn martial arts online or learn from me, then go in the description of this video for my link to my $10 a month course. Without the way, we're gonna get back into the video. And with that, I would say the best way to really learn self-defense and martial art to protect yourself is not to go to the guy who's had 2 cage fights, but rather to go to a martial artist that has been in real life dangerous, sticky situations, that he's been followed and been mugged and had to do something, or had to, whatever, he's actually had to use stuff in a realistic environment where it was sketchy, it was scary, it was not ideal, where he didn't want to be there. That's the guy you talk to, because he's going to have some actual experience, stories, and really when he starts teaching you techniques, it'll be geared toward the real life environment. Perfect example. I obviously do martial arts, teach martial arts, whatever, and I taught a friend, I won't say his name, and he is a firefighter. I'm a firefighter as well. We were firefighters at the same fire department, and I taught him stuff. And the big thing, what I teach when I teach any beginner, because obviously I'm teaching more for self-defense, to protect yourself, I always talk about how you always, in real life, you need to talk with your hands. You're talking with a weirdo, a homeless guy, an aggressive guy, don't have your hands behind your back. Don't have your hands crossed up. Don't have your hands in your pocket. Talk with your hands. And what I always teach, that I want both my hands on my center line, talking to the person like this. So here, if I'm talking to you, I'm not looking like a threat. I'm saying, okay, I'm not looking like a threat. That's the first thing. Because in the UFC, you see, I want to be both myself. I want to look mean and tough. I don't want to be intimidating. Real life, I don't want to be intimidating. One, because obviously we talk about court and stuff, I don't want to be the aggressor. You shouldn't be the aggressor. So I do not want to show everyone, especially the guy I'm about to hit and hurt. I don't want to show him I want to fight. I don't want to show him I know anything. I want to show him I do not want to fight. Why? Because I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight. So I don't want to intimidate him to egg him on. I don't want to be like, okay, do something then. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I am trying to verbally disarm him. Because most times that works. Most times it's all you need is saying, okay, sorry, man, I'm sorry. You're right, whatever, man, I'll get out of here. That works most times. The case in which self-defense is important and necessary is when you tell the guy you do not want to fight and he does not care. That is when you need to know something. See, so many guys run away. I show some weapon stuff about knife defense, how to actually defend yourself against a knife. Every time, run away. I would just run away. I would just get out of the way. Okay, idiot. Of course I would get away. I don't want to use knife defense in real life. The whole point of any of this is what to do when I do not want to fight, but I have no other option. That's the real, when I say, okay, I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, big guy. I'm trying to go. And he's not letting me leave. That's when you need to know something. So now, when that happens though, witnesses and cameras, they see that you're not the aggressor. This guy's trying to hurt you, right? Versus if I'm a, amateur champion, been in three cage fights, undefeated, 3-0. Okay, come on, what you trying to do, huh? And now it shows, okay, we're both aggressors. We don't really know who's right and the wrong. Versus here, of hey, I don't want to fight. Everyone knows, even the guy knows you don't want to fight. So now, from that, I teach you on attack, intercept, all that other good stuff. But I'm getting to a point that the first thing I really teach is having the hands on the center line. So that if he tries to hit you and you're not ready, my hands are here so I can automatically deflect. Not block. No, not like the ring. I don't want to block. No, I want to deflect. Because when I deflect, now I can punch, I can deflect, and I can punch, I can do stuff with my hands out. So that's why I teach have your hands out. So if he swings, easy to deflect. And if I need to punch, finger jab, palm strike, punch, my hands are already in center line to hit them. So, story, my friend, he was working at work as a firefighter, and he was on the medic unit. And he had a rowdy patient, and I see so many times, it's very annoying when I see firefighters, first responders, that police don't do it because they know this. Police are very good, but everyone else, they always, when they have an aggressive patient or an aggressive person, they always are like, sir, calm down, sir, they're not taking it seriously, their hands are crossed, sir, just get on the stretcher. No, you shouldn't do that. Always talk with their hands, have your hands out. So he does something, you're ready to do something. So my friend, he did that. We trained for a couple months at this point, and he knew this. So he's talking to the guy, he had his hands up on the center, and the guy tried to swing. On him. So yeah, it's not MMA. It wasn't, you ready? Are you ready? We're both in the stance. Let's go at it now. No, the guy just tried to sucker punch him. That's realistic. He's in the back of a medic unit. That's realistic. It's not, no, we have 10 feet of room now. No. So he had his hands out, and the guy tried to swing. And what did my friend do? Deflect. Stuffed it, and then when I was able to break it up and stop and make him act right. But the point is that MMA does not teach you that. MMA would have taught him to just fight in the back of the medic unit now and just 1-2 hook, uppercut, cross. It would have taught him that. Versus the actual way to go about it is I do not want to fight him. So my whole system, it would need to orient around not trying to fight unless I have no other choice. Unless he has a knife, but he's in front of the exit, right? We're in a room, we're in a hallway. I can't run away, he's gonna chase me. That's when you need to know how to do stuff. And so he deflected the punches, and then he stopped, they broke it up, bam, they were fine. He was fine, and there you go. That's the point, that MMA is not made for that, so it's not gonna teach you how to deal with that situation, how to deal with a realistic situation. Yet again, MMA does also not teach how to fight against a bigger, stronger aggressor. As we already established, obviously in real life, everyone says this, the street fight, there's no rules. There's no rules on the street fight. Yeah, okay, we know that, of course. Obviously, that's why there's weapons involved too and stuff. I mean, where I'm from, they're gonna have a gun. I'm just be honest. So that's another reason why I don't want to say, okay, come on, let's go. Because now, if I give him distance and I'm in a stance, I'm telling the guy, hey, I want to fight you, and now I'm waiting for you to get in your stance. So I've seen many, many, many times that the MMA fighter or whoever, a boxer, some trained person, will beat up the individual, will let off for a minute. The guy then will get out, pull a gun, and go to town. That's another thing. That's why you don't know what the guy has, so your fighting should be influenced by that. So I do not want to be in a stance ever in a real life in a counter, unless, I would say that. You do not want to be in a stance. That's why I teach this stance, or even a hands down, if I'm here, even a hands down stance, and then being able to move from that. That's so much better than an actual fighting stance. But yet again, MMA does not teach you how to fight and defend from a no stance situation, because that's realistic. I don't want to be in a stance. My stance, if I do this, what does this tell you? It tells you a few things. I want to fight you, I'm trained. And those are the last things you want to show anybody on the street in real life in self-defense, is that you do those two things. If they have a weapon, that's their signal to say, oh, get your weapon out. Okay, Jim, get the machete, get the knife, get the gun, get the bat, get the friends, and then go to town on you. And now you're looking dumb. So that's why you don't want to fight. With that being said now, the bigger, stronger person, right? There's no rules. You don't want to be in a stance. You don't want to show me want to do anything. The other thing is that the guy you can fight could be 100 pounds bigger than you. I've used this stuff on bigger, stronger guys. And my big critique on MMA is that they do not teach you how to fight a bigger, stronger opponent. And what I really mean, to be specific, a bigger, stronger opponent that does not have as much skill as you. Because obviously, if I'm fighting a guy 200 pounds on me, and it is MMA and all that stuff too, then of course it'd be very hard. Like, of course, we're talking about a big guy. He's big and strong, but he's aggressive. So he doesn't have the MMA boxing know-how to and then he doesn't know that. He doesn't do it correctly, but he's aggressive. Where he lacks in training, he makes up with aggression, rushing at you with punches. How to defend that? The guy's bigger and stronger than you and aggressive. MMA, since they are focused on same weight class fighting, the guy's skilled, they really go over those dirty tactics. Dirty tactics are super important in real life because they're quicker. We already discussed that in real life. You really want to end the fight as fast as possible because of all the variables. You don't know everything. You don't know who he is. You don't know who he does. You don't know what he has. Too many variables. The environment you're at, you could slip and fall, right? We get in the fight in the bathroom and there's pee all over the floor. Do I really want to pull guard with pee all over the floor? I mean, I could, but okay, there you go. Or there's snow on the ground, or that's a whole environment's different as well. With that being said now, I want to end the fight as fast as possible in real life. 10 seconds max. Bruce Lee would say to his students all the time that if the fight lasted more than 10 seconds, you've done something very, very wrong. And he's totally right. It should not last that long. It should not last more than 10 seconds if you are trained. So, I said to say, with dirty tactics, utilizing it correctly and know what you're doing, you can end the fight very fast. I mentioned earlier how MMA does not teach you what to do against grabs. Like, they grab your shirt and they're yanking you, right? And in real life, they grab your shirt to either A, just yell in your face, argue, B, to then punch you, to then from here, bam, either hockey punch or swing or whatever, punch from that, so you can't get away now. Or C, they grab to then get a weapon. Because now if I'm here and I go, bam, you cannot run away. Right? You're stuck. Now you have to deal with the knife coming at you and the hand on your shirt. It's a very dangerous situation. So obviously, rule one, you don't want anyone to grab you ever. Just push their hands off. That's why we have the hands out in front. So if he does, you swat it off and you hit him. But let's say it gets you anyway, whatever. It's big, tough, big, burly guy, 250, big and strong, lift weights. You could do some jujitsu wrist lock. You could do an elbow lock, immobilize, come up here. You could do those things. And they could work if your technique is awesome. They could work if the guy's not that strong. He's not actually really strong and aggressive, because yet again, he's aggressive. He's not sitting there. He's aggressive. He's yelling at you. But if he double grabs with both arms like this, or chokes with them like this, I could do something, or I could take both hands, bam, eye gouge. He will instantly let go. That is why you use dirty tactics and how you use them to your advantage to be very quick, versus me trying to do some sort of lock maneuver, Aikido, throw him on the ground, which could work. I'm not dissing it. It could work. But I would rather he grabs me, both hands in the eyes, he will let go. Well, that's it. And now I can get away. So that took 2 seconds. I bam, and I get away. Or I could do the MMA approach, go for the double leg, get on the ground, do that, right? Or the regular martial arts approach of, okay, I do some sort of lock, we get on the ground, now we're fighting. No, I want to get away. No, I want to get away. That's the point. Self-defense is built around surviving, protecting yourself, and that you do not want to fight the guy, but he wants to hurt you, because that is when the martial arts is necessary. People always say, I'll get away, I want away. And with the stats, it is true. Most people do not get in fights. That's a good thing. Most people don't have street fights, nowadays. It's a good thing. But the problem is that when you try to get away, if you want to get away, it's not letting you. Now it's when you need to know something. Everyone harps on how disarms don't work and they're not effective at all. Whatever. The problem is when you actually get a knife pulled on you, you gotta wish you knew a disarm. Whether it worked or not, you're gonna wish you knew something. And the guy's really trying to stab you or hit you with a baseball bat, you would have wished you knew something at that point. So yes, the chances are small, but it's still important to know. It's still a thing to train, because it can really help you, or you show that to somebody and it helps that somebody. So let's say a big burly guy, he rushes you. What if you're talking in real life and he's arguing, he's yelling at you, and then out of nowhere, he starts to run at you with punches. Again, this is a big guy, 100 pounds over you, 6'4", he's a big dude. Sure, you could just, 1-2, uppercut, whatever. You could punch. You could go for a double leg. I would say that would work. Of course, now you're on the ground, you're doing stuff on the ground, but that could work. I will say that. Or what's a much better approach is that when he starts to run at you, rather than to think MMA, and all that stuff, all I gotta do, take the front leg up, sidekick to the knee. I've done it, it works. Worked every time. When the guy's rushing you, rather than go for the double leg, the single leg, the ankle pick, the whatever, easier approach, lead led sidekick, bam, straight to the knee. Got a hyperextend his knee, he's gonna stop, he's not gonna fight anymore. That's what I mean. MMA does not teach you they're dirty tactics, but it's real life now. That's the point, is that when you do weigh less than the guy, you're smaller, you don't have the reach, you have to use certain dirty tactics to win fast. The whole point is trying to end the fight, get out of there fast, or end the fight as quick as possible. So that's what you can do. That low-line sidekick is a very easy thing that trained guys can do, but that works when the guys are coming at you. It works very well. Even if they're bigger and stronger than you, that's something that really works. And I will give some tiny bit of credit to traditional martial arts that they do cover some self-defense scenarios, some topics of, what to do if the guy grabs you, what to do if the guy tries to sucker punch you, what if he just tries to come and just tackle you. They do sometimes, certain schools do cover self-defense scenarios, because those are sometimes can be more geared toward the real life environment, what to do, how to actually defend yourself. And my only critique is that MMA does not do that. Obviously, still, if you watch the video, you know that it's still very good art. You know that it's still very effective when you are talking about fighting a one-on-one, even fighting a martial artist. It's very effective. That's my only critique, that obviously MMA is not perfect, obviously. That it's not going to go over everything, and by definition, it's going to go over the self-defense too, and what to do if you get mugged, what to do if you have weapons, what to do if the guy tries to stab you. It's not going to go over everything, because that's the point. There is no best martial arts system. There is no best martial arts style. There is no martial art that covers everything. It's like if I asked you, what's the best mode of transportation? Just think right now, what's the best way to get around? If you had to say the best way to travel, if you said any answer like a jet or a ship or a car, the whole point is that depends, because okay, the jet works if I'm trying to go across a continent, but the jet doesn't really work so well if I'm just trying to get across the street. Or maybe it's just a 10-minute drive, right? Or down the block, I can just take my bike, or in the jungle, maybe I take an ATV, And so it's the whole point. There is no best blank. That even for vehicle travel, it depends. It depends on the circumstance. Each vehicle is good for something. Walking's good if it's just, down right there a few feet, right? The bike's good if it's a few blocks. The car's good if it's a couple minutes. It's gonna take a couple minutes via driving, The boat's very good on water, across some water, and a jet is very good if it's very far, right? An ATV or a four-wheeler is good when it's jungle environment, it's tight, you can't really drive a car through there. That's the point. And it's the same thing with martial arts. That, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is good for grappling, boxing is good for punching, Muay Thai is good for the clinch and their knees and elbows, kicking is Taekwondo, Savate. That's the whole thing. Each art has its own specialty. And MMA, its specialty is that one-on-one fighting with a rule set. It's great at it, and it's probably one of the best at it, right? And I will say that. This whole video, if you watched any of it, it's not a diss to MMA. It's not a diss to mixed martial arts, obviously. It's just pointing out the obvious, is that so many guys, they think what they watch on UFC is exactly what real life fighting, what real life violence looks like. And it's incorrect. It's not what it looks like. With that being said, if you do MMA, your chances of defending yourself against a one-on-one attacker with no weapons or anything like that, it is high, right? The whole thing I just talked about is that it's unpredictable. It's an unpredictable environment. They're two different animals. That you don't know that you're just fighting one guy. He's going to fight fair. He's not going to try to bite you. He's not going to try to eye gouge you. He's not going to try to kick you in the nuts. He's not going to try to sucker punch you. He's not going to have a pull a knife. He's not going to pull a gun. He's not going to. That's the whole point, that you don't know any of that, or that. But let's say the environment's very poor, right? Maybe we're in the woods and there's sticks everywhere. And I can't really kick. Or we're in the bathroom and it's slippery and there's peel over the floor. Or we're in water, in a foot of water at the beach. He's trying to start something. We're in sand. That's the whole point. That's the whole point. So hopefully you watched this video and actually saw what I was saying. Because most people that just were triggered only watched 5 seconds of the video and then left or commented down below, oh, this is whatever and it sucks. But with that out the way, thank you for watching this video. Please like if you liked the video, dislike it if you did not like this video, and also hit the comments and tell me what you think. Tell me your opinion. I would love to see, especially if you do martial arts, I'd love to see your opinion. Out the way, my name is Joe Pollard, and I will see you in the next video. Peace, and keep training. Stay safe.